Hello again. You don't mind that I'm going to...
You're in the wrong seat.
What?
Am I?
No, you sit there.
Thank you.
That's your seat next to me.
I forgot. Oh, that's right.
She has to sit next to me because we have this relationship.
I know, I've heard about it. I want to see you after the show.
Dear. Now, let's sort of... It's the first time we've ever had you on this show together. So let's find out about... When did you first meet? How did you meet?
In her father's office in, I think, 1970.
1970, yeah.
So what happened, though? I mean, you saw her across a crowded room?
No, I was, you know, one of those telephone operators, and it was in the day where you wore one of those mouthpieces and you plugged people in.
What you do now?
Shh, no. And I was plugging in calls, and I would, like, you know, sit there in reception and be very official and, hello, good morning, can I help you, all of that. And Ozzy came in with Black Sabbath, and I was like, oh, dear, what's all that? And he had on a pyjama jacket, no shoes, and a tap round his neck on a piece of string.
A tap?
Well, I used to think, back in those days, I used to smoke lots of that weird stuff that makes you think weird things, you know. I used to think, if you have a tap, you'll never be thirsty, you know. There's merit there somewhere.
There's a certain logic about it. Yeah, but you got together, and of course, you were bankrupt, weren't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
well, always bankrupt, never any money. But I looked good. I looked good. I had the right clothes.
It was all on borrow, you know.
Oh, yeah, everything was knocked off.
Was it? Literally knocked off, was it?
Well, my father, he'd say, oh, what do you want for Christmas? I want a fur coat. And he'd send somebody out to nick one, and then they would be with a fur coat, and it's got somebody else's initials inside.
We won't go into that. No, not yet, we won't go into that. But what about, I mean, how soon before... you were drinking at the time, you were smoking...
Drinking at the time? Why didn't you stop?
You were... but let me ask you a question. I mean, everybody smokes and drinks and all that stuff, but why did you do it the way that you did? Why did you do it so excessively? Have you ever thought about that?
Because I liked it.
Because you...
No, I'm in recovery now. I'm a drug addict, alcoholic. There wasn't... The idea of one drink never entered my head, right, you know. I just get hammered all the time.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I'm nearly a year without now, which is I'm coming awake and I'm going, there are people here, you know. Not just a haze.
Is this what all happened before? Is it just a vague memory? Or...
I went into blackouts, which I didn't realise. When I went into rehab several times, they told me about blackouts, and I thought they were just trying to frighten me. Until I woke up one morning in Amersham jail, and they read the charge sheet that I was charged with attempted murder. I go, what about? I tried to strangle my wife. I was dead.
You had no recollection.
Look at you two, you're so serious.
It's like hearing my own life story just being told again.
And again.
Yeah, except it was Pink Friday, not Black Sabbath, but it was otherwise almost identical life story.
So
we've both been inside, of course.
Oh, you have both been inside, yeah.
Yes, oh, yeah, I've done my
Fabulous. What did you do?
credit cards.
How she got me to...
Join me.
Shut up! My wife got me to go to a rehab for the first time. She said to me, I found this great place where they teach you to drink like a gentleman. And I go, that's it, I've been doing it wrong. So I got to the Bessie Ford clinic, and I go into Mrs. Ford standing there, Mrs. Ford being Gerald Ford's wife, the president, the ex-president or whatever. And I go in and I go, where's the bar? She goes, what? And I had this vision of a bar where you're all dressed up in smoking jackets and a martini. Now, gentlemen, turn the olive and take one sip. And they were all like, what, do you know what you're here for? I know, yeah, just to learn to drink properly. And then I found out what my drink problem was, and that was I only had one mouth, you know.
honest, I mean, they were laughing, but it's not funny. I mean, it's not funny. I mean, it can't be funny for you. He tried to murder you, for God's sake. I mean, why did you stay with him?
Because I love him.
Well, I think when you see these Mr. and Mrs. shows where they say they've been married like 900 years and they've never had a cross word, they must be living in different houses. Sometimes she looks at me and we just go, the bleeper word comes out, you know. And we just get on with it, you know.
First of all, let's explore a bit about your background, because you came from a very poor background, didn't you?
Well, a working class background.
Well,
in the very sense. My father worked. Everybody worked in factories.
Yeah.
In Aston, Birmingham.
And you had what, six children and 2 adults?
Not me. My father.
Your father did, yes. Living in a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacked up on top of each other. It was like
Willy Wonka's bed.
That was the way I didn't know anything else, any different, you know. And I thought the only way to get out is to get money, because my mother and father would argue a lot over having not much money to go around. And so I thought, I'll either be a bank robber, and then I discovered the Beatles, and I thought, that's it, I'll become one of the Beatles. I wanted to be a Beatle. I never made it though. and that's kind of give me the charge to want to be in music, you know. Yeah. And I had the honour of meeting Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, and I said to Paul McCartney, I said, you know, I owe my career to you and the rest of the guys. Because
when you heard that one song.
She Loves. When I heard She Loves You, I was off. And I used to collect everything with the Beatles on it.
But in those days, I mean, you again, to guys, you were bullied at school, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because they didn't like me.
Why didn't they like you?
Because I thought I was a dick.
I thought you were a dick, did they? What about work? You had several jobs. You worked in a slaughterhouse?
Yeah. Dying trade, though.
Dying trade. And you worked in you're making horns.
That was my first musical job.
What?
Tuning car horns. And you'd get in this soundproof room, and these car horns would come along on a conveyor belt, and you'd fix them in, and you got this dial, and I'm going, I must be mad. I mean, I'm 18, and I remember saying to one of the guys who'd been working this job for like forever, and like, after bent over this machine, he kind of became a part of the apparatus, you know.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "How long have you been working here?" He goes, 35 years. It's the end of this year, I'll be here 35 years, and then I'm going to get a gold watch. And I thought, you got to get to work 35 years in this bracket to get a gold watch. I'd rather throw a brick through a jeweler's shop window, you know.
Which is what you did, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I did, and the brick bounced back, knocked me out with that
You did 3 months in prison?
Yeah. No, 3 months. 2.5.
What was it like?
But there was a big criminal element in there, you know.
Yeah, basically. What about when you were touring, when you made it, you became this big star, big music star, big rock star?
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
All that stuff, all that bit. Wonderful stories, a catalogue of stories about bad behaviour. Do you have a favourite one of him misbehaving?
The Alamo.
So many. I mean...
I love the story I love, which you must tell. I mean, how you tell. It's about when you went to Germany.
Oh, my God. You better tell this one, because you can remember it better than I can.
All right. He goes to Germany, and it's his first solo tour since he left Black Sabbath. And there was contest winners that had come over from America, won this radio contest to come over and see Ozzy performing in Germany. So we're there in Munich, and he's performed the show, and then after the show, the record company said, we're going for a very nice dinner. So there's about 20 people at a circular table, and there's these 2 little contest winners from LA who were like, you know, big wide eyes and couldn't believe where they were. And then Ozzy's, you know, chucking it back, and he gets kind of bored with the whole conversation. So he strips off in the restaurant, everything. Shoes, socks, everything. And then he gets up on the table and he does this. And he starts goose-stepping on the table. Then he gets the head of the record company's glass, and then he dicks his old willy in it, puts it down, and then he sat on his knee, totally naked. He's put his willy in his drink, and then he goes, "Come here, love," and he grabs him by his hair, and he puts his tongue in his mouth.
Yeah, garlic breath. It was vile.
It's a hell of a loss to the diplomatic profession, isn't it?
And it took Ozzy about 20 years to ever go back to Germany.
Do you ever calculate what you're doing in situations like that? You ever think about it, first of all?
I don't think about it when I'm doing it, but the next morning she goes, "Is the list, start phoning," to apologise, you know.
No, then after Germany, we then went to France. And again, the same thing, meet the record company, they take you out to dinner, and we're sat in this very nice restaurant, and he goes to the head of the record company, "Punch me." "Punch me." And the guy's like this, eating away. He said, "I said, punch me. Punch me now." And this guy's looking at me, and I said, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
I said to her, "Thank you, Sharon."
I just carried on eating, and I was like, that was it.
That's very French.
What made you stop drinking then, in the end? I mean, was it something to do with
I
Sharon's
don't know.
illness, or what?
I'd tried for 20 years, and
You tried very hard for 20 years.
No, I'd get off the hot seat. I'd go into these rehabs, and then they would all forget I was a bad boy, and then I'd come home, and it would start again. Yeah, but then I just got fed up with it. You know, I mean, there comes a point when it's not fun, and I was told by the various therapists and psychiatrists that all that I was doing for all the years was self-medicating, because I'd fears and things from a kid that I didn't know what were... Because my folks never told me about anything, so whatever I learned from the streets. Yes. But I'm coming up, and this really is a miracle, on 1 year clean of smoking, cigarettes, dope, everything, and alcohol. Yeah. And she didn't know it. And to be absolutely honest with you, that is the most valuable thing that I own today, is my sobriety. And it's only me that can damage that.
Yeah. But were you never a wild rock chick? I mean, were you always the sensible? You must resent being always considered the sensible
But
girl.
in the beginning, she was.
Yeah.
I used to drink to keep up with him, but I was like, you know, 2 wine gums, and I was like anyone's. I was the worst drinker.
That's how I pulled her.